Welcome to the After the Game highlights and pregame show with Coach Keith Etheridge. This week's show is brought to you by the Friends to elect Tommy Joe Alexander for State Representative District 45. Tommy Joe asks for your support in the October 11th runoff election and reminds everyone to get out and vote. That's Tommy Joe Alexander for District 45.
Welcome to the Leeds Herald's After the Game highlight show and pregame show with Coach Keith Etheridge. Good to have you again, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Your team bounced back from their loss to Clay County 14-7 and overcame a kind of slow first half to really bring the wood to Walter Welborn.
Yeah, we got a running game going. You know, up front we did a great job of moving some people and getting them in some positions where they're a little more comfortable. So we moved our offensive line around a little bit. Coach Elliott did a good job doing that. Defense, we played great. So we bounced back pretty good. You know, Walter Welborn's been pretty much beating up on everybody, and we came in the first half I think it was 7-6, and then the second half we come out and took the opening drive down the field and scored. And I want to say we probably scored on almost every drive we had in the second half.
It was pretty near to it. I think you only punted once, to the best of my recollection. What kind of attitude change did you see between the week you lost to Clay County and the week that you won against Walter Welborn, and especially between that first and second half? What did you say?
Well, they just, the kids we have aren't used to losing. So, they sort of took it to heart and worked a little harder last week and got focused and got ready to play, and did a great job of doing that and just getting the game plan in and executing.
It's true, they haven't lost a lot. I had to write 3 stories about losses since I started covering this team, and Willie Strickland, our newest reporter, saved me from having to write the last one. So you and Walter Welborn, Coach, had the shortest football game I have ever seen. We got there at 7 and we left about 9:30 or a little earlier than that.
Right.
You might have thrown, between you and Walter Welborn, 10 passes in the game.
Right.
It was all on the ground, and you gained over 300 yards. How can you tell us about how your team ran?
We just, like I said earlier, they opened up some big holes, and our running backs the second half really started hitting it up in the hole hard and finishing runs. And we talk about that all the time. Either you're going to be one or two things, the hammer or the nail. We want to be the hammer all the time. And those guys did a good job the second half of doing that. We danced around a little bit the first half and didn't hit it up in there like we want to, and so we sort of struggled a little bit the first half. Sort of Carter groove the second half, and I think we sort of wore them down. I think we played a little numbers game with them, sort of wore them down a little bit.
All right, and that's so true. Now, you held a Walter Welborn team that averaged more than 50 points a game in their first 3 games. You held them to just 2 touchdowns. And part of that performance came from tackling the runners in the backfield. You had Javier Mitchell with 4 tackles for a loss, Dakota Creel with 3 for a loss, Ron Woods with 1. What do those plays do for your defense?
It's always good to get negative plays, on defense, as far as, tackling for losses, sacks, things like that. So, and it fires the guys up, And Javi's one of those players who spends a lot of time in the backfield. Dakota's coming on real good for us this year. He's doing a great job for us, and Ronald Woods is another guy who, when we bring him, he creates a lot of havoc. So, and we got some other guys. Devin Braxton does a good job of getting in the backfield and causing problems. Trayvon Strickland, Eddie Boswell. A lot of guys on the defensive side do. So, it's great to get those negative plays, because then they're looking at second and longs or third and longs instead of second and mid to short. So it puts them at a disadvantage, and then we can lay our ears back on defense and really come after them.
And that was what I had noticed, is that a lot of times if you got a negative play on Walter Welborn, they were not able to make it up, especially since the passing game was fairly sparse there.
Right.
Tonight, Coach, you're going to face St. Clair County, who's one of your traditional rivals, at Homer Smiles Stadium. And now they dropped their first 2 games to Moody and Springville, but they're on a 2-game win streak over Locust Fork and Cleburne County. What can you expect from them tonight?
They're a good football team. They're feast or famine. You know, they played real good the last 2 games. Didn't play so well the first couple of games. You know, they've got some good football players. Their coach is a proven winner, Coach Lee. You know, he's won state championship there when he was there early 90s. So you know, it's always a good football game when we play them. Matter of fact, 4 of the last 6 games we've taken losses against them. So you know, we've only beat them 2 times in the last 6 tries. So, but both times we beat them, we won a state championship. So I'm hoping we get a win Friday night and tonight, and you know, I just hope that we build on what we started last week.
So hopefully it'll be like our groundhog if we beat St. Clair County.
Exactly.
We're going back to the championship.
That's
so
right.
Coach, thank you for being with us once again for another after game highlights and pregame show. We want to remind everyone to come out tonight, support the team. When you're there, it brings the guys' spirits up. Your ticket sales help the team. And you know, we want to give a special thanks to all our sponsors. And remember, roll Green Wave.